bung bung.
Oh my god, it's so big and strong.
Bung Bung Coffee. Big, strong flavour. Competition? I don't think so. bungbungcoffee.com. Get yours.
claymcmouthcomedy.com for all my dates and all the merch from comedy and the podcast. That's claymcmouthcomedy.com, CLAYMCMATH comedy.com. We got a monthly show. We got some other shows coming up, so please get on there, buy your tickets wherever you are. In South Australia at the moment, we're going to be in Salisbury. We're going to be in Port Adelaide. We are also going to be in Melbourne in July and Brisbane in July, so that's coming up. So claymcmouthcomedy.com for all my dates. Let's start the show.
Welcome to the party. Best show on the internet. Ask anybody. You know it's easy money. Sit back, relax, get your headphones, everybody. Welcome to the party. Blackout in the booth. Every episode's a party. We go hard like Ricky Bobby. Tell a friend to tell a friend. This is welcome to the party.
Welcome to the party, bung bung. It's your man Claytron, aka the Big Boss Man, aka the Clumsy Jeweler, because I'm always dropping gems, aka the Milkman, because I always deliver, aka the PhD of podcasting, the Magnum PI of podcasting, the Captain, the Tyrese Halliburton of podcasting, because even if you think that I'm overrated, I'm going to come and bust your ass, boy. And my dad likes to start fights with Greeks. Hell yeah, dude. The NBA playoffs are fantastic. Little update here. I think we've got a real scrap between the New York Knicks and the Detroit Pistons. The Pacers gave the Bucks the gentleman's sweep. Cleveland shoved a broomstick right up the assholes of the Miami Heat and then just kept sweeping. Job not finished. Everything still looks dirty. Let's keep sweeping. They swept the shit out of them boys. It wasn't even fair. Wasn't even fair, dude. Who else is out in the East there? Is that it? Is that it now? Let's talk West then. LA just got bumped today. Yes. The LA Lakers just got bumped today. You guys know, it's well documented. You guys know that I'm happy about that. Yeah. You guys know that I'm happy about that. The Houston Rockets molly-whopped the Golden State Warriors today. So that's still a series, I think. I think that's 3-2 now. Obviously, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and them boys in OKC swept the shit out of the Memphis Grizzlies. Pretty similar action to what happened out with Cleveland and that other team, Cleveland and Miami. Oh, Boston and Orlando, gentlemen sweep. Again, tough matchup for Boston, but Boston just way too good to be even really wasting their time playing with them. Losing the game, kind of expected there just with the matchup difficulties, but just way too good, way too experienced, way too strong. They absolutely fed Orlando in that last game there. Denver and Clippers is a dog fight. It's a dog fight, dude. I think Denver's going to come out on top, but it's going to go to 7 and it's going to be close every game. Shit, have I missed a team out west now? I don't know. It might come back to me, but we got some awards too. Evan Mobley got Defensive Player of the Year. Congratulations. Brunson got Most Clutch Player of the Year. Dyson Daniels, bruh. Shout out to the Aussie Dyson Daniels. Dyson Daniels got Most Improved Player, which he deserved. I think He could have took 2 awards home. He had a realistic shot at Defensive Player of the Year, but Evan Mobley got that, and I'm not mad at that. He plays D. He plays D, no home loans. So I don't think Coach of the Year is out yet. MVP is not out yet. 6-man. Peyton Pritchard got 6-man. So, most of my calls have been correct thus far, except for Defensive Player of the Year. Oh, and Clutch Player of the Year, I had Trey Young. He didn't even make the top 3, which is crazy to me. I guess your team probably has to win a couple games for you to be assessed as clutch, but he used to come down at the end of games and really be given the business. He put the Atlanta Hawks in his motherfucking back at the end of games, bro. But it is what it is, dude. You can't get everything right. I could. I don't. Shit. What else? What else has been happening, really? Let me check my notes here. Oh, yeah. My playoff picks are all 100% correct so far. I knew the Pacers were going to win that series. Obviously knew Boston was going to win. Obviously knew Cleveland was going to win. OKC. New York, Detroit is proven to be probably the one that's going to get me. I said New York. It's just much closer than I thought it was going to be. But New York could still prove me right. And same with Denver. I said Denver over the Clippers, probably in 7 games. And it looks like it's going to go to 7, maybe 6. But, yeah, that one's going to be tough. And then you got the Houston, Golden State. I picked Golden State. And Houston sort of showed a lot of fight today. And I picked Minnesota over LA. Yeah, man. Yeah. And yeah, whatever. I'm 100% correct so far. My bracket stands. But, dude, ever since I started at the gym, things have been getting crazy. I've lost a kilo. Congratulations. And that's good. That's, 1 kilo, 1 week. So I just need to do 30 weeks, I guess, lose 30 kilos. I'd like to lose 30 kilos. Wearing a black shirt in a black and white production, on a camera. You guys probably can't see it, but I've got 30 kilos to lose. Trust me. Maybe 20, 30 kilos to get me back to playing weight, and I don't play anymore. So maybe let me lose 20. Let me lose 20 kilos, and I'll be pretty chuffed with that. And I'm still eating like an absolute animal. So if I get a handle on my eating, it'll happen pretty quickly, to be honest. But I've been seeing wild shit. Today I saw a guy who looked like he was going to rob the place. He had like a beanie on. I thought he was going to pull it down into a shiesty. And he had a black hoodie on, black sweatpants on, black trainers on, and he was shadowboxing for about 45 minutes. That's lit. That's lit, bro. I saw a white dude walking the other day. I'm out and about all the time at the moment. I saw a white dude out the other day. Probably between 60 and 70 years old with long, straight white hair. Like as long as Blake Lively. Like legit long hair, bro, that if he rides a motorbike, it's blowing out the back of his helmet, dude. Like it was long and luscious. This dude was wearing a do-rag, bro. A do-rag. This was less necessary than when Eminem wore a do-rag. I'm telling you. It was wild. I never seen anything like it. I almost crashed my car rubbernecking at this, this do-rag bad boy. And next thing I see is a little African girl riding her bike wearing her bicycle helmet backwards. No reason, dude. I don't know if that's like a flex. I don't know if that's dope. I don't know if that's some shit on TikTok. No one was filming her. But again, then I almost crashed into the other side of the street rubbernecking at her. It was a wild day to put it quite frankly, man. It's good. Shit's sweet. We had the inaugural, the launch of what's it called, man? Gin and Comics. It went really well. And Millage's distillation. last Thursday of every month in Port Adelaide. Come along if you're around, or if even if you're not around, come along, make plans, come out there. Solid turnout, about 30 people in there, and just had a ball. Just put on a ripper show, and I'm really proud of what we did in there. Really, really proud. So that's going to keep going, and if we can really turn this into like a legit thing, that'd be sick. I want it to go weekly. I don't want it to stay monthly. I want it to go fortnightly, then weekly, and we'll be laughing. But it's good, man. Yeah, we're very happy with how everything's been going. The jokes are good. They're writing themselves at the moment. I've just about got my next fucking hour together. Not together, but like it's just obviously going to need some work and chopping down. But I've written a lot, and it looks like an hour. It'll probably end up being 20 minutes once I tighten it up a bit. But I got some jokes coming. Man. So probably need to put my last show on wax, and get that out, get some clips on the internet, whatever. I don't know. I need a social media person, but again, can't afford that. So I got to figure that out myself. But we've got something for you this week. We got something for you. I can't remember if I've watched any new movies this week. I know there's a couple of bangers out right now that I haven't had the opportunity to watch yet, but I've got something, and I kept this one in the holster because I wanted Rachel Lemon to be on the show for it, but I always do these when she's not home now because it's just so much easier than trying to do it at night when the kid's asleep and then being scared that we're going to wake him. So I'm doing this without Rachel Lemon. We watched it together, but yeah, man, it's going to be fun. Let's get into it.
Comedy, action, or horror? Will this movie win an Oscar? Set design, directing, acting, lighting, or costumes? This segment is Clay's Reviews.
The OC. The OC, yes. The OC, which is the OG, like teenage sort of drama, soap almost. This was going on in high school. I remember I was dating this girl, Nikki, her name was, and at the time that I was dating Nikki, I was like, this is the baddest bitch on the planet, bro. I was really feeling it because we were at that time where the girls were developing into women and the guys were still like lanky and pimply and just weird looking with like weird shaped dicks or whatever. But she she had a little body on her, and we just good. It was a good time. It was a good time, especially for a teenager. And she had grown out of an awkward phase, which I was unaware of. I just thought she was just a dimey, bro. And her friend, which was like another ex of mine, so maybe I was dipping my toes in, too close to the sharks or whatever, if that's even a saying, which I don't think it is. But my old girl, I don't want to say her name because I just won't. All right. But she sends me a photo. This is when camera phones. No, this was on MSN Messenger. So she sends me a photo of Nikki on MSN Messenger, and her teeth are all jacked up, and she's like, her skin is not good. Remember like pepperoni face or crater face or whatever they used to say about acne? That's what she had, which she'd obviously grown out of or got treatment for or whatever because she looked good, right? And I don't know if she was if old girl number one was jealous, or what her deal was, but I remember she sent through this picture trying to like throw me off or whatever. Didn't work because it's like this. Hey, currently she's a baddie though, and I'll claim that. And I'll claim this. I'll claim someone who's bad now that wasn't back when I hooked up with them. I'll be like, fuck it, bro. Got in early. I saw the potential. Baddie, bro. I knew it. You just didn't yet. That's what I like to say. I've done that 2 times. I've done that twice, dude. So maybe 3 now that I think about it. So maybe I do have, an eye for talent. Maybe I should be some type of creepy modeling agent that comes in there and chats to a fucking 15-year-old, and I'm like, hey, look, strictly professionally speaking, you're a bad bitch, and here's my card. People are going to take photos of you and sell them or whatever models do. Hey, professionally speaking, maybe I got an eye for it. Which sounds like pedophilic or whatever. But that's where we're here now with an adult partner and child. So maybe the child thing's, maybe that's dangerous. I don't know. Oh well, I do know it's not. I do know. But the reason I was talking about Nikki is because that was who I was with at the time when I was watching this show. I think it was on like maybe Thursday nights or something. And this is back when you really were still talking on the house phone. I think you had minutes on your mobile, but you still really have to recharge. Remember credit? I think people still have credit. Not credit cards, but like you had to buy prepaid, like a prepaid phone. And so you talk on the house phone a lot. And on Thursday nights, she was like, we're not fucking talking because I got to watch the OC. And all these years, I was just like, that show stinks, Never watched it, but I just decided it stinks. Now look at me. I'm sitting on the Welcome to the Poddy podcast reviewing that shit, okay? And it's all about rich families living out in the OC, and there's like a party every weekend, whether it's a teenage party or if it's an adult party that the teenagers are at, and it's just shit gets wild, of course. And I think this is the OG. I think this came out before Gossip Girl. But it's the same thing. It's like there's one guy who's a poor person who got dragged into the rich world, and that's Ryan. And he wears wife beaters with jeans and all types of weirdo shit that was like cool back then. I think Channing Tatum was even doing it. It's just a whack look now. Like if I see a guy with wife beater and jeans on, and he's walking by me with a coffee or whatever, I'm going to, throw 20 cents in his cup or whatever and say, thank you for your service or whatever. But back then it was like, you're a hot boy. That's how you knew you were a hot boy / bad boy, is if you wore a wife beater. Sorry, white singlet or whatever. You're not allowed to call them wife beaters anymore, even though, it's statistically proven. But if you wore a wife beater with like slacks or jeans, Doc Martens, and for some reason you weren't a racist, you were usually a bad boy. And you're probably hot too. People probably thought you were pretty hot. And he used to think he had pipes on him, and he had a real small mouth. Talking about Ryan, you'd think that he comes out of his shell at the end of 10 seasons or 9 seasons or whatever it is, and he just never does. He's always this aloof, fucking dark, introspective, bad boy but all he wants to do is good. And that's a character that's in a lot of shit. Remember Riverdale with Archie, that red-headed fucking goon, bro? Just injecting himself into other people's drama. That's what these dudes do, these heroes. I've got so much drama going on in my life, but when I see it in someone else's life, I've just got to get involved. It's like, dude, sort your own shit out. Your life's dramatic. You got to get a handle on it before you start getting involved in other people's shit. Giving out advice and shit. You give me advice and your life is all whacked out, I'm going to be like, hey, thanks, but no thanks, B. I'm not going to be looking at what you're doing and then think it's a good idea to do what you say. But sometimes you can, check this, sometimes you can give mad good advice based off of the mistakes that you make over and over. I used to give out some pretty A1 relationship advice to my friends, talk them through situations, whatever. Meanwhile, I'm going through it with my bitch, and it's not going to get better. It's not even going to get better, bro, because I know the advice I'd give in this situation, but I'm about to do the opposite. Dude, just don't talk to her for a couple of days. Let her blow over. Shit'll be sweet. She'll reach out when she's ready to reach out. Bang! I'm sending this bitch 10 text messages in a row. cussing her out before I tell her I'm sorry and I love her or whatever. That's the type of shit I'm on. You know, and that's Ryan. That's Ryan. He's just this dude who keeps getting arrested and whatever. And he's like trying to help out other motherfuckers. And it's like, dude, how about you go do some community service or some shit first before you inject yourself into other people's problems? But basically the whole story is he does a crime with his brother, and he gets picked up by the cops, and he's allocated an attorney by the state, you know, or the police or whatever they say. You know, everything will be used against you in a court of law. If you cannot afford you're entitled to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, you'll be allocated one by the state or whatever. And he was. And that guy was Seth's dad. And Seth Cohen, or Cohn, the way they say it, the way Americans say it, or maybe even just American Jews. Seth Cohen is played by Adrian Brody, who's, I don't know. My favorite character is probably Summer, which ends up being his girlfriend, but we'll get to that later. Then there's Marissa Cooper, who was Misha Barton. Every bitch wanted to be this bitch back in the day. I remember it, dude. Every bitch was wearing shirts that showed their belly button, no matter how much dough there was around there. But it was dope because the girls that had the bodies for it, which I saw yesterday, again, probably underage, but I think that's coming back. The lowrider pants where your hip bones are showing, but you also got like your belly button's showing, and you've got a belly button piercing. I think that looks back, bro. I saw a whole squad of bitches dressed like that yesterday. Then today I'm driving by, I saw a tramp stamp, dude, and low-rider jeans. I think low-riding pants are back. And a tramp stamp, I haven't seen a tramp stamp in, at least 7, 8, 9 years. Almost a decade, I would say. I remember whose it was, and they would be regretting it right now. Unless they are back. Because the one I saw today, the one I drove past, I saw it in 4K, and it was sharp, dude. It looked like it just fully healed like this week. It's probably a month old. Tramp stamp, bro. Like legit tribal shit with love hearts, maybe. It was whack. It was whack. It was crispy, but it was whack, bro. But that's wild. That's what we're back on, bro. And that's what Marissa Cooper did get a tattoo in the show. I can't remember if it was a tramp stamp or maybe a hip bone, bro. Dude, bitches are so predictable. But she was a rich girl though. She didn't come from like fucking the hood or whatever Ryan came from. She was a rich girl. She lived next door to Seth Cohen. And she was a tortured soul. So her tortured soul met Ryan's tortured soul, first episode. And then their relationship was in, out, up, down. Yes, no, maybe. I don't know. Can you repeat that question? And that was the whole thing until like season 6 or 7. Spoiler alert, B. Marissa dies, bro, in a car accident with the guy that's always either topless and he's like skinny hot, like he's got muscle definition, but just because he's not jacked, like he doesn't even have pecs, but like he's got like outline of pecs. Do you know what I mean? It's just like even his abs don't pop; they're just there because he's skinny, but he had like blue eyes and they were squinty. And he's in that fighting movie, Never Say Die, or no, that's James Bond. Never Back Down. He's in that. And he's either got a shirt off or a wife beater, bruh. And he runs him off the road. Car flips, bang, Marissa's dead. End of season. Or maybe not quite. Maybe not. Oh, dude, what a cliffhanger. If it was end of season, then you got to wait a whole summer or whatever before the first episode where it's just at a funeral and you just never see Marissa again. Then Ryan's back to being angry. He was just starting to figure his shit out too. and he's back to being angry. And that's the cycle, bro. It's love, hate, happiness, anger, divorce, cheat, rehabilitate, reconcile. Shit like that. That's kind of the cycle of the whole series. Indie soundtrack. A lot of big bands it's called like the Crab Shack or some shit. You know how there's always like a club by the beach called like the Scum Bucket or some shit like that. You know, there's always a club by the beach called like the Krabby Patty or something. There's always a club by the beach called like the Muscle and Clam or that's the strip club, the Muscle and Clam. But there's always every single time there's a club by the beach, and it's called like the sandy something. Fuck, we lost it, boys. We lost it. We were on a roll. And we lost it. But they had a lot of parties at this bar or club or whatever, and there was real bands. Real bands were playing. I don't know whether this show kind of launched some of these bands or if they were just showing like who was hot at the time. But some of these bands, I was like, oh shit, this is real. This is real. Like, this is a real band. The Killers were one of them, I think. Whatever that is. Name a Killer song. Can't do it. I can't do it, brother. I crystal can't do it. The show in general it shows the duality of man. It shows you your own internal duality, which is, I don't know if that was the genius of it, but really the whole time I was watching it, there was like rich kids, Marissa. I felt sorry for Marissa. Whole time, I kind of like was waiting for a Range Rover to crash or whatever, and I was going to be happy about it. I felt sorry for her and I hated her guts at the same time. And I don't know if that was what it was meant to do. Like when you look at Gossip Girl, Blake Lively is playing herself in that shit. There is no way Blake Lively is a likable person in real life. And this shit with Justin Baldoni or whatever the fuck that cunt's name is, I know for a fact, I haven't read a lick of information. I know that text messages and something about there being an issue on set and she wants to call it, she's trying to Me Too this nigga 5 years after Me Too happened. It's too late, bitch. It's too late. Me Too? Hashtag too late. We're done with that. And this motherfucker comes out and he's like, hey, look, here's the text messages this bitch was sending me. Bing, bop, boom, bop, bam. Now what? And I believe him 100%. I believe Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool. I believe dude, I saw a guy whose face had been all burnt up, bro, and he looked like Deadpool without the mask. No bullshit. I saw him at the shopping center the other day. Lost my appetite, put my groceries down, left. That was mean. That didn't really happen. I bought more groceries. I bought his groceries and I put him in his car for him. I drove him home. I bought my groceries and I bought his groceries. I put him in my car and I drove him home and he had to walk back and get his car. I thought I was doing him a favor. He lived 20 kilometers away, dude. He was 87 years old, had to fucking walk back because I was busy. But he had his groceries at home. I put him away for him, bro. I put him on the top shelf, dude. And I took his stepladder home with me. I don't know why I was doing all this shady shit on the side, but I was doing nice shit, bro. But Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool. And everyone knows it. He tweets like him, and he was so happy to play Deadpool so he could be himself on camera or whatever. He's a psycho, bro. There's something wrong with this nigga, and there's something wrong with Blake Lively, and there's something wrong with both of them for loving each other. She is Gossip Girl, bro. She is whatever that bitch on Gossip Girl's name was. Serena. She's Serena. No doubt in my mind. Can't remember what I'm talking about, Gossip Girl. But, oh yeah, with her, I just hated her guts. There was no like feeling sorry for her. Every time she opened her mouth, I hated it. I hate the way she acts with her mouth, mad heavy. And I saw this guy do the perfect fucking impersonation of her. He was doing some shit with his mouth that looked just like what she does, which I hate. And people are like, oh, that's because she's got like the disability. Nah, you don't have a disability. When you're an A-list celebrity, no more disabilities. Peter Dinklage, you don't get to claim midget. Sorry. Tyler Perry, Mr. Billionaire, you know, and this isn't disability, but black, you don't get to cry about being black. You don't get to anymore. Well, nah, that's too far. Black people don't get jobs because you have to play a gang member or a rapist to fucking get anywhere. And that is the genius behind Tyler Perry. Is he's built his own fucking movie studios and now he's banging out movies, and it's not all fucking Medea Goes to Mars or whatever. Yeah, but it's like fucking some movies, some of them are movies, bro. Not a lot of them are great, but some of them are something. Anyway, but nah, Peter Dinklage doesn't get to claim midget status. Whatever, if you've got a fucking weird mouth thing, you don't get to claim it. Who else is disabled, bro? Walt Jr. He gets to claim it because I haven't seen him in shit other than Breaking Bad, where he could not even barely speak or stand up. So he gets to claim it. Once you reach a certain status, you don't get to claim it no more. Blake Lively don't get to claim, you know, fucked up mouth disease, and Peter Dinklage don't get to claim midget. That's all I'm trying to say. He does, though. He does get to, well, he gets to claim it because he has to play dwarves or elves all the time. Even in Elf, the movie Elf, when he's playing an author, he's getting dissed to his face. Oh, he's an angry elf. Yeah, Peter Dinklage gets to claim it. Instant correction. Basically, what I'm saying is Blake Lively don't get to claim shit. You know, she don't even get to claim a fucking tax refund. She don't get to claim a motherfucking thing, bro, because she seems like an absolute cunt. I think she should hang out with Nicole Kidman and they should just fucking create a cunt storm. I think if Blake Lively and Nicole Kidman got in a fight, like not a fist fight, just started being mad passive aggressive to each other, I think there would be a hurricane would form right above them, and we could call it Hurricane Serena, and that would be just so predictable, bro. Like I said, bitches just do mad predictable shit. You know, then the hurricane would go and get a fucking tattoo of a butterfly on its hip or whatever. Seth Cohen, I didn't even go into it. He's the comic relief, sarcastic, Chandler Bing-ish sort of character. Awkward, a bit of a loser. He's so happy when Ryan moves in with him. Oh, like I said, yeah, Seth's dad is a lawyer and then ends up taking Ryan in. Seth's just like, bang, friend by default. This is the best. And his sarcasm and all that just shine. He comes into himself a lot. No home loans. And he's a great character. Great character to have. And then the adults, just like in Gossip Girl modeled their whole shit off of the OC but made it East Coast. OC was OG. GG was 2008. And sorry, I'm just going to give myself some props for that.
Got him!
So yeah, the parents are always worse. They're cheating on each other. They're doing, not drugs, but they're like embezzlement. They're rich, you know, so they do different type of crimes. A lot of embezzlement, a lot of cheating, fucking teenagers, which happened in both the OC and Gossip Girl, fucking someone who still goes to school. Just incredibly dark shit. Like money, it's like a social commentary on rich people. It's like, I don't know how to be a good parent, and I'm going to be stabbing motherfuckers in the back as well on my off days. I do three things. I parent badly or barely. I go to business meetings and on business trips, and I stab a motherfucker in the back the first chance I get. That's really what a rich white parent does in either Orange County or Manhattan. And that's documentary. That's real. That's really what happens. So that's really where the show is. And what's relatable is just like basic teenage angst. But then, dude, I didn't grow up with money. I wasn't poor, but I felt it around my peers a lot of the time. I had a friend. I had friends with like nice houses. I went to a school, in a beach suburb, nice beach suburb, public school though, but people had money that went to my school. And I went to a rich basketball club. A lot of people had money there, and you get like imposter syndrome. Except like, I don't care if I don't got money because I'm balling on these bitches. I'm fucking hooping on these niggas. I'm fucking I'm crossing these hoes, So I didn't feel imposter on the court, but like off the court, driving home in a fucking Ford Fairlane or whatever, and then everyone else is getting in a Mercedes compressor at minimum. A Mercedes compressor is the poor person's Mercedes, but it's a Mercedes. So people getting in Mercedes and shit and going to Mercedes college. Then down at my school, it's like people are getting given cars when they turn 16 for their birthdays and shit. People got beautiful homes and shit. And they act different. They get to act different at home, and their parents act different. They get parented less. I saw that. There's something that money does to parenting. Even if it's not about buying a maid or a live-in nanny or whatever, there's something that happens where you think you can buy motherfucker a GameCube and not really be around that much anymore. My parents were around a lot telling me I couldn't do shit, and my rich friends could kind of do whatever they want. And that's the difference in socioeconomic class. And that's the difference in knowing whether you started from the bottom. Because if you don't really know what your parents was on in terms of finances, if they were parenting you and telling you couldn't do shit, you were like middle to lower middle class to poverty. Maybe poverty, bro. Maybe you played for the Detroit Pistons, bro, in 2022. And maybe you won 13 games. Poverty. That level of poverty, bro. That might be sort of where you were from. But being not a poor kid, but the kid without money is just like you rock up to practice in what you think are dope basketball shoes, but they're like Nike up tempos, and then everyone else is wearing Kobe's or LeBron's or Jordan's, and I'm wearing up tempos. Like them them Nike Oh, what are they? They Jordans? Oh, Adidas? They Nike? Oh, them So I'm walking around in all day. Backpacks. Kids always had Billabong backpacks and shit. Just dope. Just your shit. It's really just like, that's where you feel funny, man, is when you're wearing weird shoes to school. You got a weird backpack. You got a fucking Woolworths pencil case. yeah, you just on some other shit, bro. And your parents don't get it. They're like, a hoe's pencils, don't it? And you're like, yeah, but I get no hose. And they don't have the heart to tell you, boy, you're not going to get hose because of a pencil case. You're not going to get hose because of this pencil case. And they were right, because when I started getting hose, bro, I still had a whack pencil case. And shout out to Amy, bro, showing me that I could get hose. She went a few years under. I think she might have been 18. I was 13, bro. And she gave me a wristy. But I smile upon that memory fondly. And she did that to me when I had a fucking bitch boy pencil case, bro. So you don't need to have all the good shit. And that's really what you know when you're 34, almost 35, and you're looking back. But when you're sitting there and your pencil case has a picture of God knows what on it, and the guy next to you has a guy catching a fat fucking barrel, staring down the green room, you know, trying to come out and just bang some bikini body babe on the beach straight after catching a fat barrel, bro. And then I look at my pencil case and it's just see-through plastic, and there's pencil shavings in that bitch, and it looks grotty as. For some reason, it's like burnt with cigarettes, and neither me nor my parents smoke cigarettes. So why has my pencil case got cigarette burns on it? And this guy's got like fucking, you know, what's it called? Softcore porn. He's got softcore porn imagination. It's not even the porn bit. It's just the guy catching the barrel, but you know what happens when he hits land. He hits land, he hits puss, bro. And I'm sitting there with a fucking rock hard dick that's never been JO'd until I go to my friend's house and I get to get a wristy from his banging sister, bro. Still banging, by the way. Didn't have to have any foresight there. Started as a 10, ended up as a 10. So just being the broke kid in a rich world is sort of relatable to me, though. But because to all these girls at my school that were watching it, they were living down by the beach in big fuck off houses, watching that shit. But they were probably watching it from the other side. Oh my God, that's us. And oh my God, Ryan. They wouldn't say it's Clay because I was black. So they're probably going to say it's, you know, some other guy who's not even white still. It's probably like a fucking Italian dude. Some broke Italian dude, but he's sort of like ruggedly handsome because he's so hairy and no one else has hair anywhere yet. You know? So I think that's sort of the way that those girls were watching the show. Confusing will they, won't they relationships, you know, Seth and Summer, Ryan and Marissa while she lived. Yeah, dude, everyone's got those. Even there was a girl, bro, that I was hooking up with from the Sturt days. When I was in town or whatever, you know, obviously not when I was in America or anywhere else, but whenever I was in town, I'd come back to town every year, and you know, so we would hook up every time, all the time, for literally 20 years. The last time I hooked up with her was probably 3 months before I met her age. So like and that's that will they, won't they shit. And why hasn't it happened? But that's always the question I got in my head about it. Whenever shit got talked about, like when are we going to stop fucking around and like do something here? I'll be like, well, you get in your own head kind of. You're like, well, you're always going to be there anyway, which is kind of disrespectful. But also you're like, there's something about you though, right? That made me I haven't pulled the trigger. There's a reason I haven't pulled the trigger till now, and I've had girlfriends. And maybe the problem is that you'll always be there, but maybe there's something deeper than that, and I haven't figured it out yet, but I can feel it. You know? So you have will they, won't they relationships, bro. Rachel and Ross. Not Elaine and Jerry. That was a they won't. Will they, won't they, or they won't is usually the three options. Or they will. Well, that's what a will they, won't they is they will. Crazy when they don't. Like Ross and Rachel obviously waited till the very last episode or whatever of Friends, but trying to think of some other will they, won't they's that I had. I had another one. Sister of the girl that sent me like the acne picture of Nikki. Sister of her. We had a will they, won't they for quite some time, and then it turned into they won't. And then it turned into, and we had a great friendship, and that turned into just like, we're not even going to be really, really friends anymore. But I think we are, but just not the way it was. It was dope. You know, that one was real dope because it was like a real friendship, and that went south for reasons I won't disclose. But there's too many other names that need to be mentioned to disclose that one. They might have to go on Patreon or whatever. Hit me in the comments or something if you want to hear that story. I'll chuck it on the Patreon. The Patreon's got a lot of shit on it already, but it hasn't been made available yet because there's more shit that I'm trying to put on there before I launch it. But if you want that story to go on there, let me know. What else, man? When you're a menace and you try to reinvent yourself. I skipped that step. So I was going through a real menace stage as I was meeting Rach. You know, pretty late in life to go through a menace stage, but it's one of those times where your heart's broken and you're just doing whatever you can, you know, to numb yourself and not feel that feeling. Like, you know what guys do. Instead of crying it out and moving on, you're just like, I refuse to feel this. Load me up. And so I wasn't ready to get into a relationship, but I knew I really liked this girl, you know? So I went for it. And that led to many, many fights early. The first year was a bumpy year. Maybe even honestly, the first 3 years. Because the first year we had a buffer. We lived with housemate Dan. So, not to be confused with roommate Dan. But so we were able, there was just a buffer there. And there was still some huge fights there. But then when we like things felt like they had settled down and we moved in together here. And another year of just like, and then we figured each other out. Now we're fucking gravy, dude. You know, we butt heads like any couple does. Some don't, which is wild. That's wild. Like Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds would never have fought. I don't think they've had one fight. And that's because they're both absolute psychopaths with bodies in their basement. And I believe that wholeheartedly. Rach and I, we have fights, no bodies. Picture that. But yeah, I skipped that step of being able or having to reinvent myself. It just kind of became a necessity the longer this relationship went on. I had to get a handle on some shit that I was dealing with. And she, you know, she had to grow as well, obviously. Things go both ways. There's two people in this thing we call a relationship. So, the self-exploration and reinvention never happened for me. Like not by myself anyway. It had to happen inside this relationship, which luckily I was, when I met Rach, I think I was 27. So I'd lived a fair bit. Like some people, when you're 17 or 15 in high school, you meet your girl, then you're with them forever. And you don't have the luxury of paying for $1 million lawyers and having them write up NDAs and shit. You can't cheat ever, and you have to stay with that person forever. And you guys have to navigate growing and potentially turning into somebody else. And then finding out later in life, finding out when you're 27 after being with someone for 10 years that you are now not suited to be with each other. Oh, we're married with a kid. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I've changed my motherfucking mind and I'm going to be really mean about it. He's crazy. He's absolutely insane. So I feel blessed that I didn't meet Rachel till I was 27 and I got to navigate the landscape of women, different countries, different states, different cultures, different beliefs, political, cultural, religious, and just knock all that out before, and at least like having some idea of who I wanted to meet, even though I met them in a fucking, when I was a shell of myself. I was in a fucking hellhole, bro. I just like, all I was trying to do was escape myself at that time. And then she allowed me to navigate that and to be myself, as hard as that might have been at sometimes for both of us. And now we're here, bro, which is fucking pretty sick if you ask me. And gay. But what else? What else have we got here in the notes? Not heaps, really, man. Just Julie, I think Marissa's mom. She's also what's his name in Entourage? Sloane's dad, Terrence McEwick. Wow, I can't believe that. I can't believe that triggered that. Terrence McEwick. She's Terrence McEwick's wife in Entourage, and she's Marissa's dad, Marissa's mom in this show, The OC. And she, you know, I've always been a fucking real MILF hunter, bro. I've loved an older woman. Love a milfy. Now I'm like just the age of these women that I've loved my whole life, which is fucking crazy. Rach is the age of the girls or women that I've been obsessed with my whole life. Isn't that nuts? Absolutely, just fucking the OC, bro, just led me to my life. The OC, this should be a 10 out of 10 show, honestly. You know, you get to navigate your past misadventures into the man you are. You get to navigate all of your childhood horniness and wanting to bang MILFs into turning someone into a MILF. Isn't that, life is beautiful, bro. Life is beautiful. Shout out to Larry June and 2 Chainz. This show is a 7.5 out of 10. If you want to sit down with your girl and binge something that you don't have to think about and you're going to get angry at the decisions of these retarded children, watch this, bro. 7.5 out of 10. What do we call it? 10 what? You know, like manipulative teenagers. 7.5 out of 10 manipulative teenagers. You know what it is, man. Welcome to the Poddy on everything. Follow, like, rate, review, share. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Go to claimingmathcomedy.com for my shows, merch, and yeah, dude, just fucking tell everybody you know about the Welcome to the Poddy podcast and Claiming Math Comedy. I love you guys. Don't forget to love yourselves. And as always, bung, bung,